Hi! Alright, today I'm going to be talking to you about my business bullet journal. This is one I set up for my business, for my blog, and I'm going to show you inside of it and all my different collections. If you saw yesterday's post on my blog, I'll link to it in the comments. I have pictures of all of these as well. But this is a Emeralds dot grid Leuchtturm. And so it's just an awesome notebook and has everything that you need to really set up a bullet journal if you have been considering doing this. So in the very beginning is my index, and I learned early on that it's far better to index things as you go. Otherwise you can get really behind in your indexing, and it's a pain to come back and do it, and I actually just don't. I'm probably what you would call a lazy bullet journaler, so I try to cut corners wherever I can. And so it helps me to fill that in as I go. All right, so my very first page in here is my year at a glance. And I actually blended two collections in one. This is important for me. You know, I'm a blogger, so I need to be able to, when I'm on the phone to a client, quickly look here and figure out what day they're talking about, what day they're referring to in my year. However, I've also seen some really cool collections where people have done trackers for which days they wrote and what they wrote about. Did they do a YouTube or a podcast? Did they write about, you know, for me, parenting, or was it a bullet journaling planning post, or was it a homeschool post? And so they have these trackers in their bullet journals. And I thought, that's so cool. What a cool idea. I loved it, but I am lazy, like I said. So I didn't want to have to set up another tracking page. Honestly, you guys, drawing those little boxes is my nightmare. I don't enjoy it. I have so many different planners and a life to live aside from planning it that I just no. So instead I just put my color-coded check marks right here and what they refer to, and I'm just checking right in my yearly. I mean, I'm not going to need these days, right? They're in the past. So that's why I combined those two collections. My next pages, this is my stats tracker. I'm kicking myself for not making this 2 pages. What happened was, again, you're going to hear this time and time again, so get used to it. I was lazy. And as I was setting this up, I thought, okay, I could continue on this side, but I don't want to draw all these boxes again. So I left it, but I wish I hadn't, because I could have really put in a lot more information for my blog, a lot of my other social media channels to track. I just put basically my very top things and the bare minimum. So because this is so important, I regret that, but I can always add another one later on. Then my next page is my goals. And you'll see this isn't crazy full, and that is because I'm very specific about what I put on my goals. I am very careful not to put anything that's unrealistic or might actually not happen. So I like to dream big. You know, like, will I actually, you know, write a book? Will I actually write a book? I really hope so. I know there's potential for me to write a book. Whether or not I can get to it this year or not, I don't know, but it's a goal. But for me to put something on here that's totally unrealistic, for me, it just discourages me. So I try to be strategic with what I put on here and put on things that not only are realistic, but things that I think that are actually taking me in the direction that I want to go. So I brainstorm a lot before I put it in there. All right, my next spread here is awesome. I love this spread, and you guys are going to be seeing it all blurry, and there is a reason for that, okay? This is my hashtags and keywords spread, and I don't want you to get caught up in using hashtags that I have researched, because guys, I spent hours researching these, that are relevant to my strategy, because I have a very specific strategy on Instagram. And so I wanted to keep this, you know, my little thing, not because I don't want to share hashtags. In fact, I probably will share some of the more common hashtags, but because these ones are specific to my strategy, and I don't think that's going to be actually super helpful to you. And I think it can get you stuck in a rut. The greatest thing that I can recommend it to you, if you're a business person who is looking to grow your blog, go to your followers' Instagram pages. Your followers that you love and that you know love what you do. Go to their Instagram pages and find what kind of hashtags they're using. Find what kind of hashtags are relevant to them, and those are the kind of hashtags that you're going to want to use. Also, I really don't recommend, you won't be able to see it, but I have on here Bujo, bullet journal, bullet journaling, and I was using these really broad hashtags, and I realize now that that really wasn't a great strategy for me, because what happens when like millions of people are using these hashtags is that, yeah, my picture pops up for like 2 seconds before 10 other ones have replaced it, and my photo's never getting seen if someone searches for it. So it's good to be as specific as you can be while still reaching people. So these are just keywords and hashtags, my strategy. That's really my strategy. The next page that I have here is my affiliate page. So this is where I'm putting in my username, my password for my different affiliates. Some I've combined. I have an other section here. I have a blogging section, so all my kind of blogging affiliates go in here. But I'm going to be tracking these each month to really see what, which ones are working for me. I think I like to give it a longer range of time. I like to see, okay, you know, this one, you know, didn't do so well in these months. Well, why was that? Was it because it was slow months, or was it because I wasn't really pushing them or promoting them or doing any videos or posts, and maybe I need to work a little harder on this one? So I'm strategic again with what I put in here, and I try not to go over the top with my affiliates, just choosing ones that are successful for me, and this is going to help me figure that out. Next, I have my mileage tracker. So this is just, you know, when I go to speaking engagements or whatever, and I want to track, this is primarily for tax purposes, honestly. I hate this. I saw, you know, I want to do a little cute little Dr. Seuss quote, and it was in red, of course, because it's Dr. Seuss, and I hate it with all my heart. It just, I feel like it ruined this page. I think it was so great, and then I added that. But here's the thing, whatever. I could cover it up, but whatever, because my mistakes are part of me. So there you go. Next, I have my brainstorming page. This is one of my favorites. I mean, just look at it. It's so fun. It's empty, which I love empty pages because, you know, there's so much potential with them. So anyways, this page is going to be where I track ideas, things that maybe I want to put in my goals, you know, in the beginning, once I've really brainstormed through them and figured out which ones are practical for me and which ones aren't. Continuing along, I have my blog sponsors and reviews. So these are like individual reviews that people contact me, just a one-time thing. These are regular ongoing companies that I work with. I have giveaways and still shopping. So my giveaways page collection is going to be for individual people that I contact to do a giveaway, or maybe I'm doing one with associated with review. But this is going to be where I keep track of the start date, the end date, the terms, what we're giving away, if it's open to US or Canada, all that kind of stuff, so I can keep track. I'm going to do it really simply. I am not drawing grids. I'm just going to make a list. So that's happening. Still shopping. This is where I'm going to be, I pitch, right? In order to, if you guys are new to blogging, unless you have, you know, like 500,000, a million views on your blog every single month, most likely you're going to need to go out and be proactive and searching for companies that align with you and that you want to work with. So these are the people that I'm working on. I'm going to put in here people that I'm pitching that are interested, but they're considering or they're asking questions, people that I want to lure in a little more, people that I want to talk to a little more, that I want to remember when I emailed them, because I want to email them again in 2 months and I want to follow up with them. So I call them my still shopping people because, you know, they'll get there. They'll get to the checkout eventually. All right, blog post ideas, 2 pages for this, really simple. I'm just going to be listing ideas so that on those days that I'm totally at a loss, I can come here and schedule from these ideas that I'll have at random moments. So now that's kind of the end of my collections that I set up before I began. And now it's into my month. So for my month, I set up, again, I didn't want to do the calendar boxes, so I just did a future log style, the day, and for me it's just what went live, or if I had posts that I was doing on specific days, I would write in what's going live. So I would say, okay, I've talked with this this sponsor, this client, and this review is going live here, this giveaway is going live here, so I can look at it ahead of time and figure out and make my plan. But I've really learned, you guys, I'm not going to write in here unless it's one that's already gone live or is scheduled with pen. Otherwise it's going pencil, because this changes so much. I'm so tired of wasting time on month setups only to have them, you know, look completely different a few weeks down the road. So this page is going to be, I'm not entirely sure yet This is probably going to be for memories, memorable moments, things I want to change, wins, fails. Check back with me because I'm not sure yet what that's going to look like. So this one, I'm going to be blurring this as well, so you're not going to be able to see very well, but this is my income and expenses tracker. There is not a lot of detail on this page, you guys. I have 5 columns. The first one is for the date. The second one is for the amount. I have this section, which I just put a plus or a minus, money coming in or going out, and I have a P or a V, PayPal or Visa. Then I have a description, and I have an E little box, okay? It's an empty box with E at the top. And this is for entered, and I'm just going to put a check mark once it's been entered. I will do all of my bookwork in my QuickBooks account. This is just because I have to technically, because I'm in Canada and I work with the US, I need to be transferring things for tax purposes over with the current Canadian dollar of that day. So my problem is that I'm not super consistent on QuickBooks. So I'm working at compiling it all here really simply, and then from here I've already transferred it to Canadian funds, and I can see exactly where it went and what day it was and where the money went, and I can just input it. So I have 4 pages for this for the month of October because there's a lot of little things that come in and go out. So we're coming to the end now. The next section, which is going to be pretty big, this is the meat of this bullet journal. My daily plans, if I have a list, okay, I need to schedule the post planner, I want to schedule to later or Instagram, I want to do whatever. My list of things that I want to do on a daily basis, that's going in my traveler's notebook. That's going in my mom life planner, which is just my brain, okay? When I'm going to set up my day, and I'm going to have like Monday, and I'm going to put a list of housework, a list of school stuff with the kids, a list of things for myself, and a list of stuff I need to do for work. That's going to be everything. I don't want to be looking in 10 different places. This is where I'm planning my actual blog posts. So again, completely independent from a list or anything that I would need to regularly. This I would refer to when I'm writing my post. And I can look back on it as well. I can see my plans. I can see any notes. I can see the URL that I use, URL. I can see the date, the title, my keyword, whatever. And I do my planning before I write the post so that it makes it a lot faster. When I sit down, I noticed I waste a lot of time just kind of slowly figuring out my headline and then slowly going and figuring out my keyword. And then I get distracted 10 times in between there before I slowly go back and do some research on Pinterest for relevant keywords. And whatever, I'm going back and forth, but I'm distracted in every location. So if I can get all that stuff done beforehand, then it's just sitting down, typing it up. So that's the goal with that. I do have one more collection that I had already done that and I needed to add it in. So again, you guys, this is the beauty of a bullet journal, is that you can do this. You can have, regular planning pages and then a collection, and then regular planning pages and then a journal or thoughts or a list, and then regular planning pages. It doesn't matter because I'm going to index it all. So it's really simple to keep track of, and that is one of my favorite things. This is my routine, my daily tasks, my planning strategy, everything for my business that I feel like I need to do to be successful. And again, you'll notice there's no times on the side of this, and that is because I do not want to lock myself in. For example, yesterday, when I did this post, I actually had done this collection. So I spent all this time doing this collection. I spent all this time taking all those photos. And then I had to go edit all those photos. And I started at 5:30 a.m. And I should have been done. My time, technically, by the time I am write blog posts for the next day, this should be technically finished in my head by about 8 o'clock. So I can get going with the kids. And I wasn't done until 11 o'clock. So the problem with putting a time here is now I feel like a failure. Instead, it's just a routine. It's just move on to the next thing. So take a big break, but then I know I need to do this. Then I need to do this. I need to do my daily task, which is over here. I need to schedule. I need to respond to comments. I need to whatever, research my next post. It's all just done as a routine. On this side, when I have do your daily task, I have my daily tasks. Things like a photo shoot, work on my newsletter, do a free printable, record a podcast, make a video. It's done on a daily basis, right? I have my monthly. So again, one of these here is going to tell me to do your monthly tasks. So monthly, it's those big things like billing or entering into QuickBooks, working on my book, scheduling Instagram or Tailwind, which I do in big chunks. I also wanted to do kind of a planning routine, and I probably will also do it in my collections journal and my traveler's notebook. But I'm doing it in my blog business bullet journal because it's really relevant to honestly my business is my planning. And so I wanted to have kind of a routine, okay? Like, it's really quite simple. Do my planning in the morning. I'm going to do my week at a glance on Saturday. And then I'm going to do my daily list of kind of what's happening that day every morning when I first get up with my coffee at 5:30. So I'll do my little list, and other than that, my weekly is going to be done on a Saturday. So what that means is that I'm really not going to be doing a ton of other stuff other than on a daily basis when I am working on my planning post or my planning throughout my day. I have a section of my day where I sit down and I do some planning. I'm just going to work on one thing. So whether that be my monthly task or whether it be doing my meal planning for the week or updating my weekly and monthlies or adding a new collection, whatever, this is where I'm going to kind of make sure that I'm fitting in those different facets of planning. So there you have it. That's pretty much it. After that, I'm going to go back to my planning, my posts section, and then it'll go all the way through to the next month, at which point I would have another one of these, another expense tracker, and then back to these again. So I'm sure I'll have more collections to add, but that gives you a really good idea of how I set up my business bullet journal. And it really is already, you guys, making me way more successful. So if you haven't checked it out, look in the description below. You can see the full post on this, as well as 31 other posts about bullet journaling and planning. So head on over and check it out. I'd love for you to subscribe, and thanks for staying with me through this very long video. We'll talk to you guys later.